Bob Chapman of the internationalforecaster.com is our guest. But I wanted to go to this Washington Post article today. Now, Ron Paul's covered it. You've covered it ad nauseum. Judge Napolitano here on this show. You know, not just Alex Jones's opinion. I've read the bill, or to be accurate, scanned over it. It's very long. Haven't read the whole thing. But it says, and the Texas Banking Association president did 2 months ago, they had a big article that was published all over Texas where they said this is the same big banks, this is Texas Banking Association, that created the derivatives, you know, the big six, and they're going to take over your healthy local state banks, and this is a consolidation, and they control the regulators. Well, here's the Washington Post. A new Consumer Protection Bureau housed in the Federal Reserve, the very group that's engineered this, would have independent funding, an independent leader, and near total anonymity and autonomy to write and enforce rules. The government would have broad new powers to seize and wind down large financial firms, that's healthy firms, and to oversee the $600 trillion, now they admit $600 trillion, wow, that's the first time I've seen that, derivatives market. In addition, a council of regulators headed by the Treasury Secretary would monitor the financial landscape for potential seismic risk. And as Napolitano said, from a hot dog stand up to, you know, your local bank, this is a financial dictatorship. The same austerity rules and power they just gave them over in Greece to rob everyone. Bob Chapman, this is unbelievable that they would even admit this in the Washington Post, $600 trillion.
We talked about it here 2 months ago. We knew it was coming. They're going to take over the SEC and the CFTC and the FDIC. It's a financial dictatorship, no question. And how do you solve that? Well, you wait until it comes unglued, then you point the finger, and then you bring in law and order and try these people.
But we won't do that. We'll just worship the bankers and thank them for everything. And again, I always call them bankers. They're not bankers. The people down the street that loan you money, that's part of the free market. It's good. You know, they're good, bad, and ugly. It's a variant, but local banks are good on average. And they're being honest about what's happening. But these mega six banks, they're not bankers. They create derivative fraud, just like Bernie Madoff, the founder of NASDAQ. I mean, you know, he's one of them. He's one of their icons, and they sell it to the world, and then when they implode it, they get control of your life, and it's all for nothing. It's literally a parlor trick. I mean, it's like somebody stands up on a mountaintop and says, I'm God, give me the world, I have a checkbook, here's you know, a $600 trillion, and the world says, you are our God, you made it up. I mean, it's just so incredible, Bob.
It certainly is, and, you know, the public just doesn't know, and I'm talking about people with college educations who just never simply studied this. They don't know unless they listen to us, where we simply outline exactly what these people are up to and how they're breaking not only the laws of the country, but the moral laws as well.
Well, I couldn't say it better than you, Bob, and it's all coming to a head, and the system now, as we talked about 5 weeks ago, Brzezinski said, look, the world's awake to our new world order. We're in trouble. And so they're just going for broke. But I really more every day realize if we just stand up, speak out, keep moving forward, we're going to beat these people in the end. Time is on our side.
Well, I agree. The longer it takes, the more people we're going to inform. And that's really important. And the people we want to inform more than any other are the people between 40 and 65 who don't know what we know. And these people have a great stake in the country. They vote, usually, and it's very important that they understand the truth, what we're telling them. And they're all going to eventually act like we are. And we'll stop this. It's going to be very, very painful. We'll probably have another war. Probably millions of people are going to get killed. You know, and it's hard to say that out of hand, but that's what these people have planned for us. You know, have no mistake. This is where this is headed.
I want to go to calls, Bob, but I really want that to sink in, what you just said. For people that have children, people that have families, I mean, they're openly on the news saying they're trying to pass legislation where any citizens they want, for any reason, non-terror related as well, see, first it's for terror, and then it's for everybody, can be secretly arrested and tortured. I mean, that is the most hardcore baseline tyranny there is. That's the royal flush. The end of posse comitatus, the end of habeas corpus, the end of everything. I mean, this is the open takeover of the internet, the open takeover of your local banks, the open takeover and federalization of your police. Canada's falling to tyranny with secret arrest, mainstream news, secret law lets police arrest for no reason. I mean, that's, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a drill. And I don't think people, I mean, take the Gulf situation, whether this oil is going to come into shore and is going to be deadly or not. The CFR and the Washington Post is now putting up trial balloons about total martial law and 20 to 40 million people being forced to evacuate. They're now actually starting to put this out there. I mean, they're hitting us from all sides, and all the evidence points towards this BP thing being staged. I mean, I wish that wasn't true. But we're not going to get out of this with wishful thinking. Okay, folks, we're going to have to really face how evil our enemy is and how they've hijacked our government, how they wrap themselves in the flag, how they brainwash the police, and the police better choose sides. I mean, you better look in the mirror, police. I mean, is that America? Secret arrest of whoever you want? Torture? Is America foreign banks telling Congress they won't say where the trillions went? Foreign offshore banks being able to shut down whatever financial institutions they want? I mean, is that really what you in history want to sign on to? All you care about is your beer, going out and partying after you get off the government bureaucrats, judges, media people, all of you, everybody, all of you that passively go along with this, whether you're a soccer mom or a doctor or a lawyer or a professor or a yuppie, you better get up off your hind ends and speak up now. And don't tell me, oh, you don't know if this stuff's true. Don't punt. Don't psychologically, say, oh, well, who knows if that's true. You know it's true. You better be counted now. You better choose sides and stand up now. You're only alive once. We're at a crossroads here, folks. We're going to win this thing one way or the other. But the more you stand up now, the better we're going to be here. I mean, we could actually have the globalists back off and then try to creep back later. And whether that be a less decisive victory, I'd rather have it that way for now. Bob Chapman.
I agree completely. Anything that will avoid violence. And, you and I get blasphemed all the time for saying, well, all we want is violence. And that's the last thing we want. That's why I tell people, kick them all out of office in November, and maybe we get a shot at turning this thing around. At least it's a step in the right direction. And, of course, you guys, all of you out there, you got to help us.
Absolutely. Bob Chapman. We're going to come back for this segment and the next and take phone calls with Bob Chapman. Again, for everybody that's patiently holding, we're going to come to you after this break. The websites are Infowars.com and prisonplanet.tv. Don't forget we have the online video bookstore at Infowars.com, and all of my films, my book, Paul Watson's book, the live simulcast of this radio show is archived there, a higher quality podcast for prisonplanet.tv members. And I want to thank all the prisonplanet.tv members because you are supporting our entire media operation, the bandwidth, the IT, just everything with your prisonplanet.tv membership. Plus, you get that arsenal of information that you can download to disk and give to everyone you know. Have you woken somebody up today? Have you reached out to somebody today? The clock's ticking. We'll be right back. Stay with us. He was coming with a gun to shoot me down. So what did I do? I defended myself. I guess that makes you a terrorist. Helga, listening in Austin, Texas, on 90.1 FM. Helga, you are on the air. Welcome to the airwaves.
Hi, Alex. I hope you know that you are always in my heart.
Yes, I recognize your voice. You'd moved to Germany. Are you coming back and visiting?
Every year I'm here right now visiting. And I have to say thanks to Bob, because otherwise I couldn't afford it.
Oh, really?
Oh, Bob gave you some good advice.
Bob gave me some very good advice, which I followed. I had a little, it was a little scary, but I did, and I'm really glad I did. So, Alex, I'm just so, I just wish every country would have a steam engine like you.
Well, I'm pretty obnoxious, but I get the job done.
I don't think you're obnoxious.
We were a sweetheart.
I don't think so at all.
Helga, what's on your mind?
Actually, just before I left, they even told that the German government has to send their household budget to the IMF to be approved. Tarpley didn't talk about, and I don't know if anybody else has talked about, but that's the last thing I heard before I left 3 weeks ago. And, you know, I mean, Germany is only half as much in debt as Greece. So, but the IMF is, you know, has been there a long time. Everything is being privatized. All the German cities, all the communities are bankrupt.
Well, Germany never got out from underneath the Marshall Plan. It's been a corporate colony since then, and now all of us go under this corporate Borg. Bob, had you heard about what Helga's mentioning?